Have you ever wished to be someone who is unshakable? Someone who doesn't care about criticism, rejection, loss, or betrayal? Have you dreamed of the day when you finally stop feeling that silent pain, that anguish that eats you up inside, even when you pretend to be fine on the outside? Maybe you're tired of trying to please everyone, of maintaining an image that requires constant strength, when all you want is to rest just for a moment from the pressure of being untouchable. But let me tell you something no one has had the courage to say. As long as you try to avoid pain, it will continue to control you. As long as you numb yourself, protect yourself, hide, you remain a hostage to everything around you. The words that hurt, the actions that disappoint, the silences that kill you inside. This isn't weakness. It's the reality for most people. The difference is some pretend better than others. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in depth psychology, said we are not what happens to us, but what we choose to become, and that's where the key lies. It's not about shielding yourself from the world, becoming cold or indifferent. It's about integrating, bringing to light everything that affects you in the dark. True strength isn't the absence of pain, but full awareness of who you are, even when you're bleeding. If you've made it this far, it's not by chance. This is for you who's tired of hurting over everything and everyone, who feels always at an emotional disadvantage, as if others have power over you. I want to show you it doesn't have to be this way, but you'll have to face truths that hurt. And for the first time, this pain will set you free. Let's get started. You believe what hurts is out there in others' actions, poorly chosen words, abandonments, betrayals. But the brutal truth, none of it has power unless there's already an open wound inside you. What hurts isn't what they do. It's what it activates within the story you tell yourself, the old, unaddressed trauma, the emptiness disguised as strength or pride. Jung shows us external pain reflects what's not integrated internally. That's why some endure devastation with clarity, while others crumble at a comment. It's not what happens, it's where it hits. The uncomfortable truth. You suffer because deep down, you believe you can control how the world treats you by being good enough, strong enough. But control is an illusion. To stop suffering, stop protecting yourself from it. Seek awareness, not armor. Your freedom begins when you see outside only has power if it echoes inside. You believe the pain comes from out there, from harsh words, betrayals, abandonments. But here's the brutal truth. Nothing external has power over you unless it strikes an open wound inside. What truly hurts isn't what others do. It's the old traumas they awaken, the stories you tell yourself, the emptiness you mask with fake strength. Carl Jung revealed that external pain mirrors what's unintegrated within your psyche. Some endure devastation with clarity because they've faced their shadows. Others shatter from a single comment because it hits their raw core. You're suffering because, deep down, you still chase control, trying to be good enough, strong enough to earn a world that won't wound you. But control is illusion. Clinging to it keeps you in tension, predicting the unpredictable, dodging the inevitable. Freedom starts when you see. Outer events only echo if they resonate inside. The real battlefield is your unconscious. What you ignore masters you. Stop numbing, protecting, hiding. True power isn't avoiding pain. It's awareness amid the bleed. You've wished to be unshakable, done pretending. This section's truth. Pain comes from within. Face it, integrate it, and nothing outside can touch you. In the next part, we dive deeper into reclaiming that power. Ready to stop being a hostage to every word and slight? Your inner wounds fuel the fire, time to cauterize them. Jung's wisdom. Integrate the unconscious, or it calls the shots, labeling fate what it directs. This is your wake up. Pain isn't the enemy. Ignorance is. The biggest lie you've been told is that you're in control of your life. Wake up, because you're not. Not as long as you live on autopilot, reacting without knowing why, feeling without understanding the source, making decisions you later sabotage. Carl Jung nailed it. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. That's what's happening to you right now. The pain that surges unexpectedly, the anger exploding from nowhere, the sadness invading without reason. None of it is random. These are signals from forgotten, ignored, repressed parts of you. Jung called this shadowy realm the unconscious. It's not some vague fog. It's a powerful force, a vast system of memories, traumas, desires, and fears you refuse to face, yet it dictates your feelings and actions every day. Wonder why certain words shatter you, while others shrug them off? Because they strike raw nerves still alive inside. Wounds you've never confronted, just swept under the psychological rug. Now, you keep stumbling over them. Jung warned, we cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. You've been judging, repressing, silencing yourself, thinking that fixes it. But the unconscious doesn't vanish when ignored. It erupts in sneakier ways: toxic relationships you repeat, self-sabotage patterns you can't break, anxieties flaring when life seems perfect. This isn't bad luck. It's your unconscious screaming for attention. Ignore it, and you're its puppet. You crave unshakability, but true power flips the script. Stop fleeing what's inside. The more you shield from external pain, the more vulnerable you become to internal chaos. Research backs this. Studies show the unconscious drives 95% of your behavior, deciding before you're aware, like brain activity, predicting choices 10 seconds early. It's your real controller, programmed from childhood by traumas, habits, and beliefs you didn't choose. Hypnosis reveals it, a natural state bypassing conscious defenses to rewire destructive patterns. But running only amplifies the shadows. Want freedom? Integrate. Shine light on the dark territory. Jung's wisdom. The unconscious isn't your enemy, it's the untapped force waiting for your command. Dive in, master it, and watch how nothing outside can touch you anymore. This is where transformation ignites. Get ready, we're plunging deeper. The biggest lie you've been told is that you are in control of your life. Wake up, because you're not, at least not as long as you live on autopilot, reacting without knowing why, feeling without understanding the source. You chase control like a mirage in the desert, believing if you just plan harder, worry more, or force outcomes, pain will vanish. But this is the illusion of control, a trap that keeps you exhausted and vulnerable. Psychologists like Ellen Langer named it, we overestimate our power over random events, from Lucky Charms and gambling to dictating how others treat us. You think being good enough, smart, strong, perfect will shield you from hurt. Yet life laughs at your scripts, betrayals, rejections, silences strike anyway, amplifying inner wounds you ignore. Clinging to control breeds constant tension, predicting the unpredictable, avoiding the inevitable. It stems from fear others won't act as you demand. Fear of chaos. But as long as you numb pain, hide vulnerabilities, or build emotional walls, you remain a hostage to every word, action, or loss. Carl Jung warned, until you make the unconscious conscious, it directs your life, and you call it fate. True protection isn't armor, it's surrender. Let go of the illusion. Stop believing you can manage the unmanageable. Embrace uncertainty. Integrate your shadows, old traumas, fears, pride. When you do, external blows lose power. They hit but don't shatter you. Freedom begins inside, where no one else treads. Imagine this. You stop fighting the world, stop demanding it bend to your will. No more exhausting vigilance. Instead, awareness floods and you see how past wounds echo in present pain, how control was always smoke. Jung's wisdom cuts deep. Pain reflects the unintegrated self. Drop the facade of strength. Rest in raw truth. Others may crumble at a whisper. You stand unshaken, not cold, but whole. This is protection reborn, not illusion, but reality. Dive deeper next. True transformation awaits beyond the veil of control. Individuation isn't about erasing your darkness. It's about embracing it to become untouchable. Carl Jung called this the integration of a shadow. Those hidden parts of you, fears, flaws, repressed anger that you've buried to fit in. But as long as they lurk in the unconscious, they control you, turning every criticism into a dagger, every rejection into collapse. Imagine a warrior who finally faces his monsters not to slay them, but to make them allies. That's you stepping into wholeness. Shadow work reveals that what you hate in others is often your own denied self-projection. Jung said, by acknowledging it without judgment, you stop reacting like a puppet. You gain internal strength, confidence that doesn't crumble under pressure because insecurities dissolve in acceptance. No more neurotic defenses or fragile personas. You see yourself clearly, strengths and vulnerabilities intertwined, unleashing creativity, resilience, and a grounded power that external chaos can't touch. This process, self-awareness, acceptance, integration frees trapped energy. You channel shadows constructively. Anger becomes boundaries. Shame fuels empathy. Suddenly, life storms hit a centered core, not open wounds. Relationships deepen with authenticity. You project less, connect more. No longer chasing approval. You live purposefully. Creativity sparks from mental wholeness. But it demands courage. Journaling triggers, meditating as observer, facing pain head-on. The reward? True freedom, unshakable. Not armored, but integrated. You've crossed the dark valley. Now nothing outside can dismantle your inner gold. Individuation makes you untouchable because you've claimed every piece of yourself. Get ready, this is your path to profound transformation. Start today. Reflect on what triggers you most. That's your shadow calling. Invite it in. Listen without resistance. Jung knew, what you resist persists. What you integrate transforms. Become whole, observe, accept, reclaim. Your unshakable self awaits. You learned to hate pain since childhood. You were taught that suffering signals weakness, that crying wastes time, that feeling too much makes you vulnerable. So you began to run, to avoid, to deny. But here's what no one told you. The more you flee from suffering, the more it chases you. It changes form, disguises itself as anxiety, anger, apathy, self-destructive impulses you don't even understand. Ignored pain doesn't disappear, it digs tunnels inside you until one day, without warning, everything collapses. Carl Jung saw suffering differently. He believed pain was the messenger of the soul, the alarm of the unconscious, the language your true self uses to get your attention. He said, depression is like a lady in black. If she appears, don't push her away. Invite her to sit down, offer her coffee, and listen what she has to say. But you don't listen. You silence yourself. You distract yourself. You do everything to avoid looking at what really matters. The truth is that suffering hurts so much because you're still at war with yourself. There's a part of you wanting to grow, and another part wanting to keep everything as it is. Something inside cries out for transformation, but your ego, accustomed to control, tries to suffocate that call. And it's in this friction that pain is born. Because change hurts, growth hurts, letting go of old beliefs, cutting toxic ties, allowing what no longer serves you to die, all of this is mourning, an internal process of death and rebirth. But it's precisely in this space of ruin that something new can be born. When everything in you is deconstructed, when certainties crumble, when pain lays bare your vulnerability, you can finally see who you really are without the layers of protection, without the performance, without the mask. And at that exact point, suffering becomes sacred, because it brings you to your knees before the only thing that can set you free, yourself. Jung understood that suffering is not a failure of the system, it's part of the process. Pain is not the end of the road. It's the beginning of the journey toward individuation. The problem is that most people give up before crossing that dark valley. They flee. They distract themselves. They return to the surface. But not you. If you've made it this far, it's because you're ready to cross. And in crossing, you'll finally understand. True strength isn't the absence of pain. It's the full awareness of who you are, even when you're bleeding. You've been taught that protection means building walls, creating distance, hardening yourself against the world. But here's what no one tells you. The strongest shield isn't made of armor. It's made of awareness. It's consciousness itself. When you understand your triggers, your patterns, your deepest wounds, external events lose their power to destroy you. You still feel, but you don't drown. You still suffer, but you don't lose yourself. This is the ultimate protection, not avoidance, not numbness, integration. This is what separates those who break from those who bend without breaking. The moment you stop trying to protect yourself from life and instead dive deeper into understanding yourself, everything changes. Those living on the surface get hurt by every wave. Those who dive deep discover silence, stability, and unshakable power below. That's where you're heading. True emotional immunity isn't hardness, it's clarity. It isn't about creating barriers. It's about expanding your awareness. When you integrate your shadows, your fears, your flaws, your insecurities, nothing outside has the power to dismantle you. You become untouchable not because nothing affects you, but because you've already faced your monsters. You've looked into the eyes of your shame, your neediness, your anger, and you've said, I see you, and you no longer control me. This internal lucidity, this consciousness in the face of your own darkness, this is what gives you strength independent of approval, recognition, or control. The world may try to knock you down, but it no longer finds where to hit you. This is the final truth. Consciousness is the ultimate shield, not protection from suffering, protection through understanding. You spend your whole life resisting fear, emptiness, rejection, loneliness. You hid. You silence yourself. You try to control everything, to be perfect, to be strong. And it brought you here exhausted. But now you know what shields you isn't protecting yourself from life. It's diving into it deeply. It's taking responsibility for everything you feel without blaming others, the past, or fate. Because what you resist persists. What you accept transforms. And when you finally stop running and start integrating, when you live from that place of presence and acceptance, the world's arrows find no target. You become untouchable through consciousness alone. You've journeyed deep into the shadows with me, facing the unconscious, embracing pain as your greatest teacher, and stepping onto the path of individuation. Now, as we reach the end, remember this. True freedom isn't found in walls or armor, it's in the raw, unshakable knowing of who you are. Carl Jung showed us that we don't become whole by rejecting our darkness, but by integrating it, light and shadow fused into an unbreakable core. No criticism can pierce you, no betrayal can shatter you, because you've already danced with your demons and claimed your power. Imagine waking each day not fearing the world's chaos, but observing it with calm clarity, untouchable, because nothing outside holds the keys to your inner world anymore. This is your invitation. Choose awareness over illusion, integration over escape. Stop running from pain. Let forge you. Write in the comments, I choose true freedom, if you're ready to cross that final threshold. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications. Our next video dives even deeper into practical steps for this transformation. You've come this far, don't stop now. Your unshakable self awaits. One last truth from Jung. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Today, rewrite your fate. Step into the light of awareness. Be untouchable not by force, but by wholeness. Thank you for joining this journey. True freedom is yours, claim it.